And on to our third movie title, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I mean, why would anyone want to do that? How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. In that movie, what's the name of the girl? I forgot.
Kate,
Okay, in that
I know
movie,
the
Kate Hudson, right?
Kate
Kate
Hudson, right?
Hudson,
I don't
Kate
remember the name.
Hudson did all of these things that I'm gonna ask you about because are these really the things that would turn you guys off?
For this third title, I think what I remember from the movie
Mhm.
is this. The first bet, okay, was between Kate Hudson and a girlfriend, right? Because
Yes.
this girlfriend always ends up being, being alone, being in a messed up relationship just because of
Right.
what she does, right?
Mhm.
And Kate Hudson being a writer, okay, of things, of how to things, right? That there are lists and steps and what have you. She was thinking that, you know what, I want to point this out to you, right? In real life, I'm going to be doing everything that you are doing
Yeah.
just to prove my point, right? That this is exactly the reason why you're alone right now. And the flip side of that is what Matthew McConaughey,
Matthew
right? Is
McConaughey. Right.
right. Was trying to do was the bet. Okay, so how to lose a guy in 10 days. Now, here, I'm going to tap into the romantic side of me, right?
Okay.
And I'll talk about the long game, okay? Because in romance, there's always this second chance. There's always someone who's trying to look at a brighter part of what's happening, the silver lining. We'll think of that as a very very big red flag, okay? But some would, if they're really into this, if they are really committed to this girl or to the relationship already, those are things that you can overlook, right?
Mm,
Nails go growing too long,
yeah.
beard, right? All over the guy's face. Those are things that you can overlook, okay? But there are certain lines that you should not be crossing, like
Mm,
infidelity, right? Like you are not right, or letting this person feel that she is alone, although you are with her. That is something that is really heartbreaking. Okay, something that broke Robin Williams's heart. Okay, it's not on a on a romantic aspect, but that you being a person or being being someone with a heart, I'm hoping, right,
mhm.
would just feel empty, right? I'm surrounded by all these people. I'm surrounded this particular person that's giving me attention from the day we met, but right now I'm losing it, right? And it's a long game, right? And if you're trying to drag it on just because you're holding on to what you have started, and that's just gonna be burdening you. It's gonna burn you out. And I pity the guy or the girl that will be going through that, because that is something that will scar very. It will not really be healing,
Mhm.
100%. There will always be a question, will this be happening to me again? If they have a new relationship, right, it's going to be scarring you for life. So for me, it doesn't maybe take only 10 days. It might take just 1 day, it might take just 30 seconds, it might take 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's all about the lines that you should not be crossing.
Okay. What about things that women do that will
Think.
send guys packing and, bye
Mhm.
bye. I'm not gonna do
Okay,
that.
so we're talking about red flags now, right? Okay,
Yes.
okay, okay.
Yes.
Right. So, for me, on a dating aspect, right? Because
Mhm.
dating and married life, it's two very
Two
different,
different things. Right.
spectrum ends of spectrum. So let's talk about dating, or yeah, when you guys are starting. First off, girls that are too loud in social media. I'm not talking about your my day. It's your account. Okay, it's your social media account. You can do whatever you want with it, but maybe too loud in a sense that you're already sharing too much. Okay, over social
Sharing.
media,
Yeah.
because
Mhm.
there are things that you need to keep private. Okay, not everyone is happy with what's going with your life if they are positives,
Mhm.
right? Also, people are not going to be that supportive on the flip side of things.
Right.
So that's one for me. Okay, that's a major red flag. Second, yeah, again, someone who's always bringing up the past.
Why
See,
don't we do
past.
that to ourselves? I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Yes.
It could be
Have
it
you
could be
ever?
a trust issue or thing. I mean, you mentioned about infidelity earlier, right?
Mhm.
I just want to capture this to second point that you're talking about, because I think when someone is scarred, most people, though they say that I already forgave him, right? But every time that there is, a familiar scenario, it's like it's hunting you. It's always in the back of your
Uh,
mind, ready to be pulled out any time that the
yeah.
familiar scene will, you know.
Yes, and it's
So
always gonna be hanging. It's always gonna be hanging there.
exactly, it's lurking like a
Yes. And so, oh, so the question now is how? What if, okay, so a different scenario this time, right?
yeah,
What if you guys are already committed, right? The
yeah,
question was asked, the yes was given, you're happy. What if, yes, what if your partner has that thing, right? Lurking, okay, over her or his head, that because it always will be sparking something negative, something that will be dampening whatever you're trying to do, right? So my question now this time for me, Jess, is how will you, okay, how are you going to be solving that? Can it be solved, or can it be solved by a partner, or should it start with the person?
I think it should start with the person. Trust isn't something that you trust is earned, right? But it should start. I mean, if you're saying that you're starting with a clean slate, you have
Mhm.
to mean it. You have to really let go. Else, it's never going to work out. It will always haunt you. It will always be part of a conversation, of a disagreement, and it's going to be an endless cycle. And it's not healthy. It's toxic. Might as well end the relationship for good
Mhm.
rather than rehashing the past
Yes, or not start with any relationship
at
before
all.
you heal,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Because some people will be jumping, both feet into a relationship
Yes.
just because of the first date, right? And then they have baggages, and these baggages are always going to be there unless it's unloaded. So I totally agree. It has to come with the person. The problem is some people will try to solve it with another person. That's not going to work, right? That's
All
not
right.
going to work.
Okay.
It has to start with you,
Yeah.
right? Being happy starts with you. It should not be mandated by you having
That's
someone,
right.
right? And it's
Ah, I love that. Yeah.
yes, and the younger audience, I'm hoping that we are gonna have an audience that is coming from the younger generation, with with social media now. Okay, obviously exposure and the physical aspect of attraction is already out there,
Yeah.
right? People now have a very different look on how beautiful is, right? How you're gonna be defining it, how are you going to be handling someone that you think is pretty, but in social media she is exposed?
Yeah.
Uh,
Get it.
I don't know. Maybe that's my grandpa part because you know ancient
Oh,
sometimes
Lolo.
are the 90s, right? Lolo.
Yeah.
The Lolo
Yeah.
vibe is there. This is the grumpy grandpa
Yeah.
of me that
Yeah.
is talking. But I still think, right? I still think that beauty again is something that is not really just physical.
Yeah.
There are there are people that are attracted because for what a person on I don't know what a girl thinks, right? How she articulates how she thinks and how she will be controlling situations and so, and then that's something that is very very impressive on my end. So I don't really need to see you in a bikini immediately, but I'm not saying that it is a minus. See,
Okay. Yes.
right? I'm not okay. Please do not get me wrong. I am not complaining about it, right? Because that's how they express themselves. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But what if the world is all blind? How are you gonna be impressing someone
That's
if
true.
it's all blind,
That's
right? There's
okay.
something I'm sorry, Jess, if I'm hogging all of this era, but I'm gonna put it out there. There's something that um my teacher has always told us from before. Character should always have two things. One should be form. The next one should be substance. Okay, it cannot work with only one.
One.
You
That's
cannot
agree.
all right. You cannot all be form and then you're hollow inside, because once your form gets
Mhm.
deformed, what do you have inside of you, right?
Yes.
Also on the flip side, if you're all substance, it's really hard for you to find someone who's going to be appreciating the substance, okay,
They don't
without them looking
care.
at you really, right? But
Exactly.
I'm just like,
Okay, wait. So you first mentioned someone is very, very loud on social media. Second is one who likes to rehash the past, bring up
mhm.
history. Are there any other things that you can think of that might send someone like a guy hacking? And
Okay, well, not from my personal perspective, but I've seen some lists of these, like girls trying to say that, okay, if he's not gonna be paying for my food, right? Something that
yeah,
happens
yeah,
in the Western side of things, but here in the Philippines, not really, because guys, all right, in our Filipino culture, if you're gonna go on a date, you're supposed to really be paying, okay, unless the girl insists,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Unless the girl insists. But if you all will go around and talk with your girlfriends, like, okay, he cannot even afford a free meal for me, and
Mm.
this is why I'm used to pretty things and stuff like that. You need to go ahead and provide it for yourself, not a date, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's yes,
Okay.
that again. That is a red flag. I would say to the younger generations, if you ever went out with someone like that, who's gonna be, gonna be judging you because for what you can bring
Mm.
financially to the relationship, big red flag.
Okay. Do you have any other things? Okay, let me
And
ask you. What about if the girl or the woman is being way too clingy?
way
Is
too clingy. All right. Oh, so
that a red
once I
flag?
answer this, I'm gonna be sending this question back to I'm gonna be boomeranging it
Okay.
back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Being clingy, what's the level of clinginess? Okay. There are some levels that are acceptable,
Mhm.
right? Holding hands, right?
Yeah.
Holding hands, or maybe before you say goodbye, super extra hug or what have you. Just like, when you're when you're going to work, there's a kiss, right? There's a hug, and then there's going to be a surprise lunch, what have you. I just seen it from from a K-pop already. See, okay, that I already consider as clinginess in a very, in a very pondering way, right? Now another level of clinginess is, it's already crossing the line of your personal space, right?
Hmm.
Clinginess, because I think my personal opinion on the negative part of clinginess is if they're already going through your phone, going through and then going and talking
Hmm.
with the girls that are on your friend. Oh my goodness,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Right. But I
that's
admire,
crazy level of clinginess.
right? But I admire the tenacity of these girls, right?
Mhm.
If but I have seen this happen, and the relationship did not end well because the girl apparently is the one who's doing the cheating. So it's just you, right? It's just you, or it's just this girl trying to go
Hmm.
ahead and see if this or her partner is doing the same. So I'm gonna say it in the vernacular for maximum impact. Takot sa sariling multo, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So that level of cleanliness is something that, something that you should be considering, okay? Because it's bordering the sociopath. It's
Borderline cycle. Okay.
right. It's scary. It's scary. What
It's
else will this girl be doing? Okay. Now going back to
okay.
you, Jessica.
Boomerang.
Oh,
Boomerang me.
correct, correct. Now, Jessica, let me ask you. Um, a clingy boyfriend. How will you define a clingy boyfriend?
You know that I do a lot of things, right, Bri? I mean, I have a lot of things on my plate that I like to do. I like to explore
Mm,
things. So if my boyfriend is always on my grill and always asking for way too much time and he doesn't give me the personal space to do the things that I like to do, that's way too clingy for me. Like he would be complaining, we don't get to see each other every day. You have to give me time to, for us to have like dinner, to go out, or on a daily basis. You have to call me at this hour. You have to spend
oh
hours on
no.
the phone. Yeah, so that's a no-no. Especially when I am, let's say, I love meeting up with friends, with my girlfriends as well. So if he would insist that no, you should be spending this time with me because we rarely see each other. That is a red flag for me. I mean,
Agree.
for me, when you are in a relationship, you are a couple, right? But you are still individuals. So you have to support each other's growth. And growth could mean anything. It could be you exploring something different, something new, a new skill or whatever. And same thing with your partner. But if you're always together and so pumped up in your shell of togetherness, it's a no-no for me.
I totally agree, and I'm very happy that you brought that up. And you're because one point that you said was, I need you to be with me every day, 24 hours, 24/7. Maybe you're gonna be calling me in this particular hour. If not, then you're cheating, something like
Yeah.
that, right? See, if you're gonna be doing that first, right, you will have limited stories very, very soon because you're not going to be experiencing anything new. You'll end up knowing the story. You'll say that, you know what, I know how the story ends. You
Mhm.
have told me that 8 times already, right? And then, no, I need to be, you need to be with me, right? Because, you're not going to be missing me or what have you. You see, the premise is for you to be missed, you have to not be there, right? So if that is your goal, see, right? Because
Yeah.
that's the point, right? If
Yeah.
you want if you want me to miss you, one of us should not be here. Okay,
Exactly.
24 hours a day. But that's what they there's also an adage saying that, absence make the
Makes the
heart what,
yeah.
right?
Harder. Yeah.
that that means it's not really. That's why I give um i I give the freedom, okay, even to my wife. She has a thing with the teachers or with her colleagues. Go ahead, have a nice time.
That's
When you
healthy.
come back, go
Yeah.
ahead and talk to me, right? Again, in the vernacular, okay na natin yung mga kailangan mo, okay, sasamahan pa kita sa ganun. Because see,
Yes.
now we are now sharing something that one of us enjoy, and eventually you will be enjoying it all the same. That's why happy couples gain weight together because they enjoy eating, right?
Okay. Yeah.
There
Yeah.
was one couple, like, oh my goodness, it may not be, it
Well, you guys don't look
I've
like
been
you gain weight.
yes, yes. I do not want to go ahead and poke at that weight issue from before. But yeah, but happy couples would usually gain weight together because they find something that they enjoy, right?
Mm,
This
yeah.
is the time, something that you would remember that, you know what, when we went to Tagaytay, we had such a lovely time. I want to replicate that, right? Because that's
It's just you
what
adding value to the relationship based on the experiences that you've had with other people. Yeah. Like
Bingo, Jazz. That's it. And sometimes it's the same reason, maybe, that your mom probably would be giving the same gift from when you were 9 years old.
that. Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's not because she is not thinking of the gift anymore. She is just trying to replicate something or a day that she saw you happy, right? So do not, right? So this
Yeah.
is the only
Okay.
we tend, when we grow up, we tend to have our own thing, right? And we forget that our parents, okay, they also are supposed to be our what they call that, our support system or what have you. But because we are growing up, we tend to forget about that, and the efforts that they are exerting. I'm sorry that we are veering away from the
Mhm.
romantic. I just want to go ahead and point out that as a parent, okay, that's what I want, okay, mama, for my daughter to realize. I saw something, or I saw you very happy in this particular day. I want to replicate that, and I want
Mhm.
to, I want that moment to be repeated. Something that we can also reference to when it comes to our significant others.
I love that. I love that you highlighted that as well. Very good. One other question, right, of how to lose a guy in 10 days or a red flag, right? Jealousy.
Ooh.
How jealous can a woman be for you to say, I'm out?
Okay, so a guy experiencing, okay, something negative because the girl apparently is jealous,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, so there is enough. It's like salt, right? There's
Okay.
enough jealousy on, right?
Yeah.
Enough jealousy on your soup, and it's good. It's actually gonna be better.
Yeah.
because I know that this, the relationship is mutual. It's not one sided because right,
Mhm.
she thinks that I am someone, that can go ahead and get some second glances from time to time. That's fine. She doesn't think that I'm that, ugly or what have you. Because sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's another saying that I remember. Okay, I think I remembered it, but I'll go ahead and circle back to it, right? But as time goes, you're gonna be losing some sort of some percentage of interest now,
Yeah.
right? And you're thinking that my boyfriend is not that good looking anymore, not the same as when you first started dating, right? So going back to jealousy, if that level of jealousy, okay, is present, I'm fine with it. Okay,
Yeah.
usually they will be bragging. Boys will be bragging about a jealous girlfriend to the point, okay, that it's gonna be a topic in one of our beer sessions and what have you. Oh, I'm not gonna. I can't go ahead and make it, and she's
Uh-huh.
thinking about this and then
Oh.
because I'm so pogy and what have you. See, I'm pogi kasi that's a pogi point.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool. That's okay. We talk
Mhm.
about that. We talk about it in a healthy alcoholic circle, but
Yeah.
another level of jealousy is something that we may have already talked about. Jealous to the point that there's no privacy,
Yeah.
right? You're trying to seclude this person from the world. Then you are asking this person for you to be their world, and that is very limiting, right? You're not putting the relationship for growth, right? You're trying to say that, I'm the only one that you need. What if you lose interest now? What's gonna happen to me, right?
Mhm.
And we are, uh we know someone who went through that, and it's a very, very, very sad situation to be, so much so that it's not only your heart that's going to be broken. Sometimes your soul is also going to be suffering, and then you end up wandering the streets, and
Yeah.
it's just bad. It's horrible.
Yeah, I think jealousy, you're absolutely right. So there is this healthy level of jealousy, and there's this crazy borderline psycho level of jealousy that, love can make people do crazy things, right?
Hmm.
The obsession kind of love, I guess. I just want to point that out. You make that you tend to do crazy things to the point that instead of you um achieving what you set to achieve, like keeping your partner in the relationship, you are pushing them away because you are becoming this obsessive compulsive and way too controlling person or partner.
Right.
No,
Oh
that's
my
just no,
goodness.
no,
Right.
no, no, that's a no. Okay, one
Yeah.
final item as well. It's almost Valentine's Day, and I know this is going to be a very who I mean, for a lot of relationships, like some people tend to break up during this time, and for a lot of reasons. And one of this, I'm not sure if people agree to that, but I think I've observed a lot of people tend to break during February is because women, um, we all have this set of expectations, right? Around this time of the month, around this time of
Mm-hmm.
the year, rather. And I don't know, it's because of all the things and movies that we watch or the society and social media. It could be all of these things around us, giving us this mindset of like what we should have on that day. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what we should be
Right.
experiencing
Right.
that day. And so for a lot of men, that could be an added pressure of
It
okay,
is.
I'm sure she's expecting me to do something grand or to put, buy flowers and chocolates, go on a trip or whatever. So I'm not sure if that's something that will make us lose a guy, or I'm not sure if you will agree to that, but I'm not sure whether I don't know. I think what's happening is that sometimes we tend to fall in love with the idea of this celebration of this, Valentine's Day rather than we should be celebrating the day for.
Right, right. Okay. So let me put my 2 cents into that. Okay. Well, first, you are right. Absolutely right. I blame Hollywood. It's all about how you will be doing it the first time. All right. Your first Valentine's, that's fine. Right.
Yeah,
Grand gestures are okay. Roses are fine.
yeah,
Chocolates are always, see, right. That's fine. That's good. Now, there are two aspects that we have to consider now. First is the things that your girlfriend, because this is the ladies' perception, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your girlfriend has all the social media ideas because they're looking at it, they saw someone propose at the beach in Cabo, went to a cruise with you know, yes, that is love. Yes, that's Disney love right there. But we have to be, we have to be realistic,
Yeah.
right? We have to be realistic and know our partner. The littlest things, all right,
Yeah.
could be considered grand if you know the effort that the person put into it. Example, if it's a very shy boyfriend, right, that ends up doing something in public, maybe, right, or maybe writing you something, you know that this person hates doing this, and then because it's Valentine's, he wants you to be, to feel special, and he's gonna be doing this, or maybe something that you've been asking for the longest time, right? And the reason why he or she, or no, he, right, because it's the girl's perspective, cannot do it is because he needs time, he needs to, you know,
Yeah.
he needs to put in some more extra legwork to it, and then that should be fine. The problem now is if we see the reaction, that the time that we see the reaction, if it's bland, it's gonna ruin the world for us. Maybe also the next relationship. I'm just putting it out there. It
Mm.
could be, right? It could put a crack in our heart that cannot be mended with alcohol and and biking, because that's what I do. That's what
Anyway,
I do.
yeah.
Right. See, it's all about how you guys are going to be reacting, or how you girls are going to be acting. So
Mhm.
let me go back again to the main to my main point, right? It's all about you knowing your partner. If you know that this is already grand for them, then you need to go ahead and appreciate it. If you find yourself not being impressed with it or not being moved with it, then you there's a big question mark on the relationship right there. Maybe you're looking for something bigger. Maybe you're comparing yourself, your relationship to someone else, and that's bad, right? You need to appreciate what is there, right? What the guy is putting into this whole Valentine thing, right? Which we love to do, by the way. We love it. We
Okay.
love it because yeah, because the return of investment, okay, quote unquote,
We're talking about,
right?
right? Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
is always gonna be happy for both of us. So something
Yeah.
that we will be sharing again, or we'll be sharing for the first time, or what have you,
Yeah.
is something that's gonna be special. I don't know if you're gonna be agreeing with me.
I agree with that. And also, I'd like to highlight that it shouldn't be just on Valentine's Day, I guess. I mean, when
Oh,
you said that, pay attention to the little things, right? It's really listening to your partner and understanding what they're. I don't want to say, okay, love language is, of course, we know all about that, right?
something that we talked about, right?
Yes, yeah, love language. So I think you're absolutely right, yeah, about listening to your partner, and like Valentine's Day doesn't have to always be grand and do things like what you see on social media, but it has to it has to be organic in a way that's how you see your partner, right? What their
Right.
needs are, what they want, what do they need, and if you pay attention just a little bit more, you will understand. And I think that's what most couples and most who are in a relationship tend to miss and overlook. So
Unfortunately, right?
that's
So
very unfortunate. Yeah.
if you have a partner that always remembers dates, like this
Yeah.
is the first scene,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe if you replicate that, she will. If she will
Exactly.
go ahead and appreciate it. Just go ahead and pay attention. Sometimes because Valentine's Day, right? It there's a whole reminder, right? In
Exactly.
the
Like everywhere.
right, just
Everywhere.
everywhere. You know that it's the 14th, but it's
Exactly.
very different when it's on a different
On a
date. Then
different day.
you're gonna be
Yeah.
asking why you're doing this and this, because this was the first time that I knew that it was.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness! See, you're
Yeah.
gonna
That
be
is like whew, hard, 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 hard. Yeah.
gonna
But
be melting, and then you got you're gonna go to brunch the following day. You're gonna be
yes, you
talking
know what?
about it.
Yeah. Which brings me to
Right.
my question. So I'm sure you have something planned for your wife this Valentine's Day. I'm not gonna ask you to disclose whatever it is that you'll be doing on the 14th, but I'm sure that you have. Yes or no?
Right. Right. Okay. Not exactly on the 14th, but
Okay.
we have a trip at the end of the month, right? So
Ooh,
that's when.
nice.
But here's the thing. For me, Valentine's not gonna be between me and my wife anymore. I have a daughter. She's 15. I
Ah,
want to make I this is a very delicate juncture in our relationship, dad and daughter, because I want to make sure that the foundation of a relationship is gonna be coming from me,
yeah.
right? I don't want you, right, thinking that this is gonna be, if a guy tells you that you're pretty, just tell them, and I know that already. Come on, do some, put a little more, because it's easy. Words are cheap. You know that words are cheap.
Words are
Tell
empty without action.
yes, tell me something that I would be able to relate to. That means you cannot just go ahead and put put some sweet nothings on it. That's what I want. That's what I want my daughter to understand.
Okay.
Okay, not the first guy that's gonna be telling you that you're pretty. You're gonna be all crushing and biting the names or what have you. Oh my goodness.
Gen Z, you should be listening to this.
And I'm always dads. Okay,
Okay.
go ahead. It's if you have a teenage daughter, we have to step up, right? The first Valentine gift that they should be receiving will not be. It's okay if it's from a boy, but you should also have something from you.
Oh, that's really nice, Bri. Oh, and that's why you're perfect for this episode. I knew you
Oh,
made the right choice. But really, thanks, Bri. I think we touched on a lot of topics, and I'm sure, I hope, and I'm optimistic that you guys who listen and watch this on YouTube have some takeaways from what we've talked. We rambled on a lot of things, but I'm sure you have a lot of key takeaways. So, but Bi, thank you so
mm.
much for being on Speaker Creative. I enjoyed our conversation. Wow. Considering this is your first time to do a podcast, I am blown away. You're such a natural. I love it.
Right. Okay. The the only reason why I'm that way is because I am talking to someone that is right. That is the epitome of being natural in front of the camera. I do not know how ABS-CBN missed out on you, but
Oh,
they still have time. They still have time. But yeah,
yeah,
thank you very much for having me. I'm hoping that everyone that will be seeing this episode will at least again have a takeaway or at least find this entertaining, right? Us trying to converse about love. Maybe they already know this, maybe it's brand new to them, right? But I'm hoping that they have learned a little bit something, right, from the both of us.
agree. And happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope that you'll make the most of that day and love every day, not just on Valentine's Day. Thanks, everybody,
Happy
for
Busa,
tuning in to Speaker Creative. Happy Puso.
happy Busa. All right.